Hello and welcome to another episode of Reach the Masses, a show about two friends talking about the pulp culture that they love. I'm Travis.
And I'm Heather.
In today's episode, we will continue our ongoing series of Buffy. We'll be on season 4, and then we'll also be discussing episode 5 of American Gods.
A very exciting episode.
Back to form with American Gods.
Yes.
They come back in. And then also we will we will continue our Would You Rather game series. We don't know if you all are liking this or not. We want to hear from you, suggestions as always. But we're really enjoying it. We're enjoying the conversation and kind of loosening us up, as it were, without alcohol, to kind of talk about different things. The funny thing is I bought this game, but most of these situations, there's some random stuff that we would have been talking about anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. The back and forth between us on a regular basis is some of this stuff.
And again, this episode will probably be running a little bit late. We're off track. Things at work, and my work in particular, have gotten crazy. I know your life is picking up.
Yeah.
So
faster in the summer than I want it to be.
We promise we will try to keep this as regular as possible. We're trying to make as much effort as possible to get these out on a regular basis, but we'll just keep going. We'll keep pushing along. So we will continue with Buffy season 4.
Arg.
So what do you think about Buffy season 4? Oh, wait. Spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler for season 4 and also for American Gods. There's no spoiler for Would You Rather because, well...
I mean, would you rather have a spoiler for Would You Rather? Because that kind of can't
be a thing. Would you rather always be spoiled?
Yeah.
Or would you...
Would you rather not?
What's a good one? Would you rather be able to see every movie before it comes out, but it would be spoiled before you've seen it, or someone kicks you in the shin? I don't know.
It's probably good that you bought this game.
It probably is. It's probably best for everyone.
We're reading off cards.
Not on the fly. Can't do so well. All right, so back to Buffy, season 4. Spoilers are, you've been warned. It picks up after graduation. Buffy is going and starting her college years.
What, UC Sunnydale? Which has dorms.
Right, and there's the first episode or two is just her adjusting to dorm life. Mm-hmm. The Scoobies are kind of separating a little bit because they're all going their different ways. There's an issue with Buffy's roommate. I think that was
the roommate from hell.
Literally.
Yeah. She was. She wasn't really doing demony things. They compare it to, of course, that having a strange roommate for the first time, which is an experience that many people have.
Especially when they go off to college.
Yeah, moving into dorms, and it just turns out hers actually was a demon.
That was in the second episode called Living Conditions.
So in the freshman, she's just kind of her weird roommate, right?
Mm-hmm. The Harsh Day of Light. This one is the one that ties into an actual earlier episode. There's a lot of tie-ins with Angel this season because this is the one where Spike is looking for a ring that would make him invincible,
Oh,
and then they find it, and then Oz takes it to Angel
in L.A.
in the first season, and Spike goes with him and crosses over. So there was when they're on the same network, there was, like we said the last season when we talked about it, they did a lot of crossover when they were under the same network umbrella.
Yeah.
And then this is also where we find out Harmony was. I think this is where we find out Harmony is a vampire because she's with Spike.
Oh, is she?
Mm-hmm. Because Drew he's no longer with Drew.
Yeah. Yeah, because he came back to get a spell in last season, in season 3, right? To make her fall in love with him again.
Yes.
So they've now.
They're no longer an item. And then that leads off. That kind of leaves it undone. So if you're watching that, you need to go. If you want to finish that storyline, you'd have to go back to Angel first season to see that. And I guess that would have been around the 3rd or 4th episode of Angel, because Doyle's in it, and Doyle is only in the first 7
or 8. Because
Yes.
I've been watching them, and I was shocked at how few he was actually in, because in my mind he was in more.
Spoiler for Angel season 1 as well.
But yeah.
And then we get the continuing on with, and there for a while Buffy did do some really good Halloween episodes.
Yeah.
This one was The Fear Itself.
Is that where they go to the party?
Yeah, that's where it's a frat,
Yeah.
and there's all these supernatural things are happening. There's an actual wall that when you touched it, it would give you immense pleasure, like orgasmic pleasure. And we always have joked about that whenever we're at a Halloween party. We're like touching the wall, like, hey, no, dang.
Yeah, we both want that wall.
And it actually leads to one of my favorite funny moments at the very end, is that there was this demon. He was controlling it, all this, and it was eventually he was going to be summoned, and it was a big, huge thing. And then it shows him rising up, and he's all, "Wah!" And then it cuts to, and he's about the size of a mouse.
Yeah.
And then Buffy kind of squishes him.
Yeah.
And then they did the translation of the book, and it was like actual size.
Yeah.
And it was like a picture of the book. So all that big bad was.
I mean, he had a lot of juice to be a tiny, tiny man. Or
Before he
demon.
came to our realm, he had all this mojo going, and then once he showed up, he was about 4 or 5 inches tall.
Yeah.
And that was just one of my favorite funny moments, because it was like this big, oh no,
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's just like, bow before me,
Yeah.
and then she's like, squishes him with her.
And who was it? Xander was 007, right? I know he wears a tux. And Anya shows up as a bunny because they told her to come as something scary, and she hates bunnies.
The ongoing bunny.
Yeah. Oz was God, and Willow was Joan of Arc because they have that close relationship.
Oh, okay. So that was their
And-
couple costume?
Yeah.
That's cute.
And Buffy was Red Riding Hood?
I think so.
Yeah.
Now, this one also starts introducing, eventually, Buffy's new boyfriend,
Oh, yeah.
Riley.
Riley.
And then that gets on to later on about who he is and how he's connected. And this is still Buffy is doing all this without the Watcher Council, because
Yeah, it's just her and Giles.
and then whatever
and the
books,
Scoobies, yeah.
whatever Giles books he still has in his collection that he saved before the school went kaput. Giles is a little displaced because he doesn't have a job anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The school's exploded. He's kind of on the outs. There's a lot of turmoil within the Scoobies this season.
Yeah.
The next episode is one of your favorite episodes, Beer Bad.
Yes.
It's Buffy gets involved in some drinking, which is kind of funny because technically she's 18 and she's
I guess
drinking all this beer. And
that's a college thing. Yeah.
Yes, but I'm looking at it now as a much older person. It's like, no, drinking's bad. It's illegal. Not really.
You're 18. You can't drink.
You're sending the wrong message to children, impressionable children like us.
Yeah.
So, Beer Bad, and we continue to do that whenever we are drinking together. Beer Bad, beer foamy.
Yeah.
Just it makes basically the episode is that there's this enchanted beer that makes people Neanderthals after drinking it. Mm-hmm. It de-evolves them into Neanderthals.
The bartender did it.
Wasn't he related? Wasn't he part of like Giles's Pat? Wasn't there some sort of connection to his Ripper days? Like another one of those?
Oh, I don't remember that, but that doesn't mean that there wasn't one. I mean,
because I know Giles kind of helps out on that one.
Yeah.
And then we get the end of Oz, Wild at Heart. That's where Oz is. I think we did mention that Oz is now a werewolf.
Yeah.
He runs into another werewolf who's able to control her.
Lycanthropy.
Yes, her werewolfiness. I was going with the more sophisticated answer of werewolfiness. And there's this immediate animal attraction between Oz and this woman.
Yeah, and he realizes he can't control his beastness around Willow.
He has urges.
He has urges, and he needs to go travel to like South America or Tibet or wherever he goes.
I think it was Tibet or something because it was some sort of.
He had some. Yeah.
When he comes back later, he's got some sort of Tibetan
beads. Yeah.
But I think that's the end of Oz, though, right?
Yeah.
I think that's when he leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get introduced. Well, I think it's introduced some in the background. There's these military type people who are rounding up demons and all that, and Spike gets
rounded up.
Gets rounded up and gets implanted with a chip. They
Yeah.
neuter Spike.
Yeah.
To where he can't harm any human, because if he does, it's like intense searing pain, and he just can't do it. And that's the next one, the initiative, where they discover there's a military lab underneath the Sunnydale campus. So in a way, it's government.
Big Brother is controlling it all.
No, I'm just running the parallels. In high school, it was hell under the school.
Yeah.
And at college,
it's the government.
It's the government.
So it's the same.
Well, once you graduate college, you get Big Brother and student loan debts coming after you.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's just as evil.
Yeah. Just all the same. It's all just bad.
It all connects. It all what? And this is when I pull out a board with newspaper clippings and string attached.
And
it's all connected, you see.
Little push pins everywhere.
It's all connected. And that's where we actually run into, eventually that's the main things that we find out that Riley is part of this government agency that is studying demons and trying to control demons. They're taking it as a scientific approach as opposed to the Watchers Council, who
took it from a mystical,
occult, supernatural standpoint. They're doing it very scientifically, and they are not doing it in the magical occult way that the Watchers Council is. And so in a way that they kind of they are aware of certain things, but then again they're not.
Yeah, and they kind of think that all the mystical parts is just kind of hogwash, and
right, which is some good.
It gets them into some trouble.
It does, and it gets Giles some fodder for them to be like, you know what you're doing, You can't just do that. We eventually get to one of the best. I mean, this is the highest rated, and for good reason, is the episode Hush. I think it won some awards.
It wouldn't surprise me.
On IMDb, it's a 9.7, and the highest is 10. So I mean, it's the highest one for the season. It's probably the highest one of the whole series, almost. And that episode, the synopsis reads, when everyone in Sunnydale loses their voice, the Scooby Gang must silently solve the mystery of the monsters who stole their ability to speak. And it had some of the creepiest monsters. The Gentlemen.
The Gentlemen, yeah.
Wearing suits, and they were very gestury.
Because they have to be.
They gesture a lot. Let's see. I'm trying to see if it. Oh, okay. One of the one of the people who played the Gentleman, Doug Jones, was able to sustain a creepy smile while on camera without AIDS. Doug Jones has been in a lot of movies that you may not know. He's done a lot of stuff. He was a Silver Surfer in Fantastic for 2. He was the amphibian person from Hellboy.
Oh, okay.
And he actually did the voice work finally. The first Hellboy was David Hyde Pierce who did the voice.
Yes.
But in the second one, he actually did
He did the voice and the acting?
Yeah, it was him, and then he actually did the
Oh,
acting.
that's cool.
He's been in all kinds of stuff. He was... anytime there's a very big, tall person, lanky guy, he's your go-to.
He's the go-to
He's the
actor?
go-to actor, yes. He's been in all kinds of stuff. Andy Hallett, Lorne, can be seen in the top left corner of Professor Walsh's classroom. The actor, not...
Oh, I was going to say,
not Lorne.
what?
Yeah.
Lorne?
No, not Lorne, but the actor
Not that
who
I
played...
love Lorne or anything.
Yeah.
Get it? Love Lorne.
Oh, I'm going to insert a rim shot on that one. No, I'm not. Yeah, there's just a lot of humor, and it was just so well done. And it was basically they didn't have any voice. There's no sound, and it's just them miming and doing things, and it's just really well done.
Two of the best episodes of Buffy, like in my top 5, are actually this episode and the one where, spoiler, Buffy's mom passes. And both of those episodes utilize silence in a way that you don't very often see or hear on television shows or movies.
No, I agree. The Body is one of those episodes where it's just silent, and it's just the use of silence is so well done.
Yes.
The gentleman, the image of the gentleman, their makeup and their suits and everything, they use that as the Monsters in a Maze at the Universal Studios Orlando's Halloween Horror Nights from 2005 to 2008.
Oh.
So for 3 years there was the gentleman, which I'm not saying, again, we made the parallel between Buffy, Joss Whedon, and Stephen Moffat, but good parallel between the gentleman and the silence in the regards to their wardrobe choices, and then kind of the way that one's demons, one's aliens, but they're both wearing these suits. They both have different abilities, but it's still they draw parallels in my mind when I think of them.
Yeah, well, and they look so similar. Big heads, bald. Like the silence, they're bigger, larger, more imposing size-wise.
We have the technology.
And they don't have mouths.
The silence doesn't.
No.
The gentlemen do.
But they don't.
They got like a creepy smile, but they don't use them.
But they don't use them.
The silence speaks, though.
Yeah, mentally they
Yes.
do. Yes. Telepathically.
No, they don't. No, it's audible.
Is it audible?
Because how can he have recorded them to play at the spoilers at the moonwalk?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
To command everyone to kill them on sight.
I guess in my mind, because they don't have mouths and I don't see them move, it's just telepathic.
You're hearing them in your mind.
Yeah. like you tend to do.
Yeah, no, they're audible because he records them and then he plays it back. So if it was just in their mind, it would just be him going,
Yeah.
Which translates really well for a podcast where I just pause for a few seconds.
Hey, but I'm sitting across from you and I got it, and that's really all that matters.
That's all that matters. I know this had to have won some awards. I think it did. I just can't find it right now. This is actually the episode where Buffy and Riley both find out about each other's
Extracurricular activities.
Yeah, their nightlife. He finds out she's the Slayer. She finds out that he's
in the initiative.
And then that's where they start inducting her, bringing her into the initiative, kind of introducing her to the head woman over.
Yeah, at the time, yeah.
Which was her professor.
Yeah.
She was posing as a professor.
Professor Walsh? Professor Walsh?
I don't know. And then this also has, we get introduced to Tara.
I was getting ready to say, isn't this the episode where we get introduced to Tara?
I don't know if this is the first with Tara. I'd have to look.
I think it is, because isn't this whenever they, at the beginning of the episode, she goes to that Wiccan group or whatever, or women's group, Wiccan women's group or whatever.
Wicked
Willow,
women, wicked Wiccans.
Yeah, Willow goes and Tara's there, but they make fun of her because she stutters, because teenage girls are bitches.
Sure.
And she like goes across campus trying to find Willow, and then they get locked in the laundry room.
And then they found out she can do magic.
And they hold hands, and it's magical, and they move the drink machine in front of the door. But not that I remember a lot of it or anything.
They moved. The earth moved when they touched hands.
Yeah,
Is what you're,
yeah. I'm sure there was some tingling there as well. You know, as magic flowed through their body or whatever.
Tara McClay.
Mm-hmm.
See her first appearance. I'll look it up. First debuted in Hush, so we got introduced to Tara on Hush.
We know things.
We can remember sometimes with Google.
Hey, I went in blind and was like, wasn't it the first one?
We also get a very funny episode later on, which does go back to Giles's Ripper days. They reintroduce that, not reintroduce, they bring back that character.
Ethan Rayne?
Yes, from season 2, season 2. He comes back and turns Giles into a demon.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the demon. But hilarity ensues, and Spike is the only one that can understand him. Spike is starting to hang out with the Scoobies. They kept him tied up.
Yeah, in Giles' apartment.
Oh, that was also one of the other funny ones. Episode 8, going back, Pangs, where it's Thanksgiving. That's another episode where Angel comes back, because in Angel, when they end one of Angel's episodes, he has a person named Doyle, which we mentioned earlier, who gets visions from the powers that be and shows that Buffy was in danger. So he goes back and he helps Buffy, and he's behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. But it's Thanksgiving, and it's just a really funny episode because there's Native Americans who are trying to kill all the people who killed them. Yeah. The funny part is with Spike, because they don't trust Spike. He's tied to a chair, and he keeps getting shot by arrows, like in legs and things. And it's, as long as he doesn't get one in the chest, he's fine. Yeah. But he's panicking, and it's just funny. So Spike is starting to become part of the Scoobies, in the sense they're using him. They let him go. They know he can't hurt anyone, and he's kind of needing money to buy blood and things of that nature, because he can't. Yeah,
and he scares it out of people, right? He scares people and robs them.
Right. But then that's where this episode of A New Man, episode 12, he can understand Giles, because he speaks that language that demon that Giles has been turned into. He understands that language, and Giles pretty much has to give money to Spike so that he can help him.
Yeah.
It's just a real funny episode, a fun episode. Then we bring back Faith. She comes back later on, and
she's out of the coma.
This Year's Girl, which took us into the new millennium. Well, actually, the first episode of the new millennium was doomed. Right.
Of course it was.
Episode 11. It was Buffy trying to stop some demons who were determined to reopen the Hellmouth. And this also takes the Scoobies out of their element. For the last 3 seasons, they've had the library. That's their headquarters. And they don't have that anymore. So they've been mostly,
okay, Mary Poppins.
Very mostly. They've been using Giles's home as their research place.
Which isn't weird at all.
No.
I mean, if you take it as metaphorical.
Well, now they're all adults, so it's okay that they hang out at the teacher's house.
Yeah, it's totally okay.
That's totally how it happens.
Yeah.
They're doing magic.
Doing magic at his house.
Now I just got, someone from Spencer's. We're doing dark magic. You wouldn't understand, Mom. We're doing dark magic.
It's so wrong.
Some hipster goth Spencer's
emo. Like emo's a thing now, right?
Emo was a thing, so we'll use it for us because we're the old millennials. The old millennials.
Because emo replaced goth because it's emotional.
Emotional.
It's emotional.
We like to put emphasis on the wrong syllable.
The wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. So in case you all didn't realize, we're from the southern part of the U.S.
Yes, you will hear a twang every now and again.
Every now and again, my ass.
Every other word. So this will bring back Faith. She appears back in this year's Girl. She wakes up from her coma. That's how she left off with season 3.
Mm-hmm. When Buffy stabbed her in the gut.
And it brings back the mayor in the sense that he did die, but he left her a video message. So the actor came back in the sense to film that, because I doubt they would have done that before that season. But
everything I see him in now, I'm just like, he's the mayor. Don't believe him.
He wants to be a giant snake.
Yeah, no matter what it is, whether he's a good guy or
look
bad
at this
guy.
giant snake.
Yeah. Just don't do it.
And then he gets arrested. Okay.
Yeah. Now I'm just picturing him in a trench coat.
But he then has to, but he leaves her a voice message saying that if I didn't make it, here's some things. I'm not abandoning you in the sense of that, which kind of shows how much he really cared for her, because
he did become a father figure for her. And
he did actually care about her, because if he was just using her, he wouldn't have went through all that trouble.
Yeah.
But basically, he gives Faith this ability that switches bodies.
Yeah, a little gadget, a magic gadget.
And the episode ends with them, Buffy and Faith, switching bodies, and then Faith getting kidnapped by the Watchers Council, because they never had a rogue Slayer, so they want to kidnap her. So,
well, and we say it's Faith that's been kidnapped, but it's actually Buffy in Faith's body.
Correct. Yes, she uses it on Buffy. They switch bodies, and then Faith's body, which has Buffy in it,
gets kidnapped
by the Watchers.
Yeah. And
then the next episode, it's a 2-part episode. The next one is Who Are You? And it kind of leads into that, where Faith is enjoying all of
Buffy's
body.
Yeah. Her boyfriend, her friends, her whatever.
It ends with another crossover with Angel, because I don't know if it's right then or there or not, but that ends, they get their body switched back. Faith escapes.
Yeah, and runs off
and she ends back, and then she runs to Los Angeles and runs into Angel, which leads into one of the best. There's 2 great moments of Angel season 2, 2 of the best moments of Angel season 2, and they're both involve the Angel Buffy relationship. So if you missed that,
would be Angel season 1.
Angel season 1, yes.
Yeah.
Did I say season 2? Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Angel season 1. The two of the best moments of Angel season 1 is in regards to his interaction with Sarah Michelle Gellar. And if you miss that relationship, most of the payoff happens in Angel's season than in Buffy's this season with Buffy, because in this one, Buffy, Angel's in the background for the one episode, and then the next time Angel appears, it's not a really good appearance.
No.
With Angel, he comes back in the Yoko Factor in episode 20. And the New Moon Rising, which is the one where...
That's the Return of Oz, right?
That's the Return of Oz, and also where Willow comes out.
Oh, yeah, that's Willow's coming out episode. Right. And all I can really remember is how funny Oz looked as a tiny, tiny werewolf. And when they're standing there, he's standing next to Tara, and he smells Willow, and he's like, Willow, but no, it's Tara. And he's like, she smells like you. She's all over you. Do you know that? And of course, poor Tara just starts stuttering.
Yeah.
It's horrible and sad, and then Oz wolfs out, and he's a tiny, tiny werewolf.
He's a tiny werewolf. So tiny.
But he gets taken by the Initiative, and has to be saved by everybody. That's the first time they infiltrate the Initiative's
underground
yeah.
And then again,
lair
that's where
area?
they use Spike to help and pay to do that. And they're actually slowly letting Spike in throughout the season. Like, back in Thanksgiving, he's tied to a chair. They let him go. And then as he slowly started helping them, he's not really helping them, but he is.
Yeah.
They start to trust him, and that's where it comes into the end. That's why it's called the Yoko Factor. Yoko Ono for the Beatles, for those who may not know.
Yeah.
Is credited or in some circles of part of the reason that disbanded the Beatles.
Yeah.
So Spike in the Yoko Factor is what starts to put a wedge between all the Scoobies.
All the Scoobies.
And it was all there. It just Spike just magnified it, put
Yeah.
put it into focus more.
But they come together in the end, and
that kind of goes back to the initiative, because what they're doing is they're taking all these demons and they're getting the best parts of them, the initiative, and they're trying to build their own super soldier, Captain America type superhero type.
But ugly. Like the captain, but ugly.
Yeah, so they're taking all these best parts of these demons and they're trying to Frankenstein it, I guess would be the better analogy.
Yeah.
Frankenstein their own super soldier creation, and they name him Adam.
Yeah. Maggie Walsh. And he kills Maggie Walsh. He kills his creator.
And then he pretty much takes over. And then he starts... And that's why Spike does it, is because Adam approaches Spike and tells him that he can remove his chip. That all you have to do is to
do these things for me.
Yeah. So Spike wants the chip out so that he can become bad again.
Yeah.
And then that leads to the climax is a little bit different, because usually the big bad climax is the final episode, but they resolve that
in the second to last episode.
Right. There's 22 episodes. Primeval is the one before it, and that's where they resolve with Adam, because Buffy tries to fight Adam and she can't.
Yeah.
He's too powerful, so they do a spell
And they combine forces.
They Captain Planet it.
Yeah. When their powers combine.
They kind of use Giles's knowledge, Willow's magic,
Xander's heart.
And then Buffy's strength, and they combine all of it into Buffy, and she's able to wipe the floor with Adam.
Yeah. And didn't she pull out, doesn't he have a core or something?
Yeah, she rips it out, yeah. Which I find is really funny that they did this, and then they never speak, they never do it again.
Yeah,
with any big bad that they have.
And they could have.
Especially with the next episode.
Yeah, I was going to say with the
next season.
The next big bad, that could have came in real handy. But did they mention it though?
I don't know.
Don't they say something about it? I think they might.
I'd have to actually go back and watch that whole season, but I don't know if after this, because if they may address it in the next episode, we can never do that again or whatever.
Yeah,
because
it seems
because reasons.
Yeah,
magical
seems like
reasons.
Something tickles my brain that they mention why they can't do it again.
Because the season finale usually. Most shows, especially 4 seasons in, they want to end on a high note or give something really wow, boom. But they did that on episode 21.
Yeah.
And then episode 22 is more low key. Very good episode, very, but it's much low key as than the last 3 seasons of Buffy, which have left with a huge escalation.
We're introduced to the first Slayer.
Right. They each, from the spell.
Yeah. Their dreams are connected, right?
Yes, they all start going into dreamlike states,
kind
of like a walkabout.
Yeah.
And they start all having similar dreams and going into coma-like states.
And the first Slayer is in each of their dreams, but doing different things. And she's kind of not behind the scenes, pulling the strings behind the scenes, but she's in the periphery.
Isn't this one of the Willow's dreams where they tease about a kiss between her and Tara, and then it cuts away because it's I remember some sort of
and
an ice cream truck is
that was Xander's dream.
Yeah.
Willow's she was back in high school, and she was wearing the clothes that she wore whenever Cordelia made fun of her, I think, from the pilot.
Okay.
Saying the softer side of Sears, and they put
she
had the long hair.
Xander, because they were all dressed all sexy.
Yeah.
And Xander's, yeah.
Xander's,
obviously for Xander's, because he's the heart.
Yeah, because he's the heart. He's not like the typical male.
Because they cut to it, but then it cuts. They're supposed to be kissing, but then it cuts to Xander's expression and stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's where we get the line, "Death is your gift" to Buffy. And I think that's probably why they can't do it again, because it would happen again, or the first Slayer curse would be upon them. But I don't know.
Some kind of something.
I don't know. I think it should, but
they bring the first Slayer back.
Yes, but not because of the spell.
Though. No, they.
But that ties in, the foreshadowing of that one ties into the 5th season, which I think is one of the best seasons besides season 2. I think out of the 5 seasons, again, I'll say this, my list is probably season 2, season 5, season 4, and season 1.
Yeah. Season 1's pretty low on the totem pole for me.
I'm missing one. I only counted 4. Season 2, season 5, Oh yeah, I forgot season 3.
Yeah.
Season 1 would probably be last. Oh yeah, I would probably go season 2, season 5, season 3, season 4,
Mhm.
and then season 1 is 5. 3 and 4 could probably be interchangeable.
Yeah.
I mean, they did really good, bold things with season 4. I mean, because starting college, starting new things,
Right.
pulling
The
them
metaphor,
apart.
that's where they had to start changing the metaphor, because the metaphor was no longer, this is what you go through in high school. The metaphor was,
You
now
started
that we
to
have
become
this
an
group
adult.
of friends, and we have to put you're put in a different situation, and how do you adapt to that, to growing up, to being quote unquote an adult now.
And that happens with a lot of kids in college. Is that the people you know in high school that were your best friends.
Yeah, you grow
Well,
apart. Yeah.
And I know there's an exception to all that because you and I were best friends in high school, and here we are.
Right.
But I mean, there's been, and we're both okay with it. I mean, it's fine talking about, but I mean, there's been long periods of time where we didn't talk, or not as much. I mean, we've always been, but we used to spend a lot of time together,
almost every day
in high school, and then as we went to college, and then especially as we got to our separate lives, getting married, kids, all that stuff. But we still stayed close. But
we've learned to grow. As we've grown up, we've grown together. We've managed to
keep that there.
Yeah, keep that relationship.
And we both said this, that we could go months without seeing each other, and
we do.
And we
or
do.
we had prior to this. We had.
Yeah, and within 5 minutes of seeing each other, we would right back into our routine, back into what we do best.
Yeah, which is talk shit about TV shows and books and movies and.
And now we're recording it.
Yeah. So you're welcome.
Thank you. But the college thing is that yes, most of your high school friends you don't
hang on to that
anymore. And Xander, had probably the hardest because he didn't go on to college.
Yeah, he was the guy in the group that didn't go to college. Although he did, he was a fry cook at a strip club.
Was that a strip club?
Over the summer, there's something about stripping in there, but I don't think it's lady strippers. I think it was fella strippers.
I'm not sure. But yeah, the season 4 was fairly well done. I liked it. Still recommending it. I don't know if we're going to keep on after season 5. I mean, we may hit some high notes between, we may combine 6 and 7.
Yeah.
Just to hit some
I'll
of the high
have to go
notes.
back and rewatch 7.
I probably didn't watch all of them because I know I don't remember a lot of the stuff with Nathan Fillion's character.
The preacher.
The preacher, yeah.
I can't remember what he was actually called, but he was a preacher.
Yeah. So
with a southern accent.
We'll probably cover 6 and 7. We'll just probably make that one episode.
Right.
Because
we'll talk about.
I know there's high points in those seasons, but
right. The musical episode.
The body.
Well, that's 5.
Was it 5?
Yeah, season 5 has the body in it.
Okay.
Because that's whenever she finds out that Dawn is the key, and
okay,
she moves back home.
Okay, so wrapping up on Buffy, let's move on to American Gods episode 5.
Episode 5.
Normally, people who die tend to stay in their graves.
I'm not so sure.
Wednesday's collecting monsters.
He's recruiting.
Who's after you?
Someone you don't want to let see your face.
You have a name. Shadow Moon.
Do not say anything. We don't get out of here soon. They'll be carrying out corpses.
Gets back to its original format of giving us a vignette of a different god.
Yes. Nununini this time.
And this one was in the book.
Mm-hmm.
It was obviously the book was much more fleshed out and gave more history, and it was a lot, kind of talking about bringing the gods with them across the land bridge.
Yeah, this one goes back
to Native American roots type thing.
And it goes 6,000 years, 7,000 years. It doesn't go back up. To whenever they theorize, historians and anthropologists theorize that people first came to the Americas. This is one of the theories that it gives, and he builds a story around that theory. And I don't know if Nununini is something that's completely made up from Neil Gaiman's imagination.
I think it's probably
Or-
from Neil Gaiman's imagination.
But it was a mammoth god.
Yeah, it was the skull of a
Skull.
mammoth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a forgotten... Nununini became a forgotten god, but he still tells the story.
Of forgotten gods.
Yeah.
Of how
Well, they
gods become
encounter
forgetting.
people, so this was just a group of people coming across the land bridge, not the first group of people.
Right. No. Yeah, so there's already other people there because
Yeah.
it ends with them killing
Mm-hmm.
and leaving the god there, and then them taking the kids and
Yeah.
worshiping their god, and
Yeah.
Nanunini slowly going away.
Yeah.
And in the books, there's more with Shadow's dreams about the forgotten gods, because there's like a representative of the forgotten. Well, maybe not. Is it Nanunini?
Nanunini? That's
Is-
what it sounded like.
From the.
But we're Southern, so we can be excused.
But in the books, isn't he dreaming about him, Nanunini? And that's the representation of the forgotten gods, because these are, because he's like.
I thought the representation was the buffalo.
Okay, maybe buffalo. Yeah.
Yeah. Was the representative of the...
Forgotten gods.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
I usually am. Not really. That was a really crappy thing to say. Trav's like, this is the
Audible
part
sigh.
where he
Audible sigh.
where he usually leaves whenever I start getting cocky, and he's like, okay,
And you're
I gotta
not-
go now.
And she's not drank either, which is
Yeah,
kind of weird.
I'm completely sober, so
She's cocky sober, which is weird.
yeah.
All right, so
He was just checking his phone to see if his wife texted to come home yet. If you really want to know what was just happening.
that pause.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry, I can edit it out. It's fine. I can edit all this out to make me sound better.
Just switch that audio. See, that's the problem. I control the social media, and you control the editing. So I come off the fool, and you're the straight guy. Not straight.
Literally.
Not straight as in heterosexual, but straight man as in like the non-funny comedic one. Like you're the serious guy who knows shit, and I'm the goober.
No, I'm definitely not that person. So we start with
Nanunini.
Nanunini, and then we pick up back where Shadow and Laura in the hotel.
Yes. And he throws a pillow at her.
It was a very funny moment.
It's just like,
Well, I mean, who else? I mean, wouldn't you like?
Yeah, yeah.
Am I
Do s-
hallucinating?
yeah.
Yeah.
but then, like you can't trust a hallucination.
It's true.
That asshole would catch that pillow and toss it right back.
So, and then there's this weird thing with the bathtub.
Yeah.
She wants to feel warm to his touch
Yeah.
and warm kiss, so she gets in the the bathtub,
The bathtub.
and soaks.
Yeah.
And they have a conversation, and then she does get out and kiss him, which was, I didn't think that. I mean, the actress was actually going to do nudity, because the
Yeah.
episode before there's a sex scene
Yeah.
and there's not any
Yeah.
nudity in regards. I mean, it's implied, but then in this one she's nude, and
Right.
even in that episode when it showed her on the slab, it never showed her breast or anything like
Right,
that. So
yeah.
I thought the actress wasn't, which is totally fine, but it's just kind of
Yeah.
weird. Like they went to pain. It was just what popped in my head. Like they
Yeah.
took pains to not show anything in
Any
the
parts, and then
in the episode 4, and then this one she's just like,
maybe that's why they
"Here
did
I
it
am."
to kind of give you the full scope of
Right.
that interaction. Is what it could have been story wise.
But then one of Wednesday's ravens alerts him to what's going on, and then he goes to Shadow's hotel room, and then Shadow doesn't want him to know that
Laura's
he's
there.
or tries to anyway.
Yeah.
And then when he steps out, they get arrested.
Yeah.
The police show up.
And Tracy Toms is in this episode, and I love her. I was so excited.
Is she the detective?
Yes.
Okay.
And I was so excited, and then a little less excited whenever she was later dead,
Later dead.
and not the dead where you come back, but just the dead, like completely
Do
and
you
totally
remember?
dead.
Do you remember? We used to do this thing when there was Blockbuster Video. We would go and look at the horror movies, like the B movie.
C, D.
Yeah, like, oh my God, I don't know how they got, but just looking at the box art, and there was this demon door. I can't remember, it was some sort of door. It was evil. And the tagline was, "Ding dong, you're dead."
No, I don't quite recall that one.
But
Maybe I'm happy about that.
I remember we didn't watch the movie. We just looked at the cover art, box of cover art, and it was like evil dead door. And the tag was "Ding dong, you're dead."
Well,
and that just reminded me. That just popped in my head. I don't know why, but he said, "And later dead." And it was just, "Ding dong, you're dead." She encountered an evil door.
Yeah.
Sorry, but that we would just look at the
box art.
Didn't we?
We got on a cheesy horror movie kick there for a while.
Wasn't there one that we rented and it was like Attack of the Killer Frogs?
It was supposed to be frogs,
but there was like no frogs. It was like lizards and amphibians.
Yeah. I think the frogs were just pulling the strings. But it was horrible.
They outsourced it to the lizards. Yeah. There was like no frogs. It was all like lizards and snakes and stuff. And I was like, how was there killer frogs? And, okay. Sorry, we're on a tangent of.
I think about that periodically.
But that film. It was right around that same time though.
Yeah.
We were getting that, and we were just looking at the box art, and that was like the evil door. It was "Ding dong, you're dead." Hashtag "Ding dong, you're dead."
Totally hashtagging that.
And I might look that up to see if I can find that. Okay, so they get arrested.
We get introduced to Mr. World in this episode,
played by
Crispin Glover,
who has been Back to the Future fame,
and
Willard,
and
no end then.
Yes, there is Charlie's Angels.
Oh yes, Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, he was
loved Lucy Lou's hair, or was it Lucy Lou or Drew Barrymore?
Drew Barrymore.
Yes, because that's the one that he liked. That they ended up hooking up.
Yeah,
in the second one, or was it the first one?
I blocked it out. I don't know. I just know it was a really cool character, but the hair thing cracked me up because it was just gross and weird and funny all at once. Oh, Gillian Anderson's performances in this episode were fantastic.
Oh yes. Started off with
David Bowie,
Star Child.
Yeah.
She didn't have the star, but I mean she was dressed up as David Bowie.
Yeah. And we get to hear her English accent, which I always love. Sorry,
I'm going to interrupt. A 1985 movie called House, Ding Dong, You're Dead. And there's a trailer for it that we are so going to watch after this podcast is over.
Oh,
that's it. Okay. Yeah, that is called House, and all you see is a very much a zombie-like decapitated hand, because you can see the bones and stuff, and he's ringing the doorbell. And I'm showing this to Heather right now.
Oh, okay.
House, ding dong, you're dead.
Oh, I do remember that.
So, oh my God. Is it on Netflix? It says Hidden Netflix Gems House. Oh God. Okay. The podcast is done. We're
done. We're gonna go watch a movie, guys.
We'll be back in a minute. And okay. So we're back at the interrogation.
Yes.
And this is where Wednesday lays it out. Well, first he starts to do his routine like he did at the airport of a senile old man and trying to get home and things of that nature. And then he lays it all out after that. He goes, "Swear to God, this is, I went to Chicago to recruit a death god that all the new gods are afraid of.
Yeah.
In my war with the new gods." And
basically, you get the entire plot
it finally gets laid
the
out.
book and the series for the somebody who hadn't read the book. This episode would be where you learn what you're actually watching, and you come to understand what's actually happening.
And last time we talked, I kind of threw that hypothetical at you, like if you hadn't read the books, would you be able to follow what was going on, or would this all just be confusing? Do you think that would
I guess this would be the episode where that was resolved for people, if they had that confusion.
Okay.
Which may be why they played it like they did. But this is also the second scene with of the episode with Gillian Anderson in it, and this time not as David Bowie, but as Marilyn Monroe.
Yes, at the very end. So again, they've done it, and they can do it. She needs to be Scully.
Yes, she needs... Just for a minute. Just for a minute.
They don't even have to reference it that's Scully, because they've never... I mean, other than I Love Lucy, they didn't say Bowie, they didn't say Marilyn Monroe. She was just in that iconic thing.
Yeah.
All it's got to be is her in that haircut and that suit.
Exactly.
Doesn't have to say who she is. We would get it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it would be so perfect, and there would be so many X-Files fans, I think, that would just follow that right along and be like, this is my new favorite show. But I loved when she comes, the door opens and she enters, and he's like, why the fuck are you floating?
Yes, because she's dressed as Marilyn Monroe in the famous grate scene with the dress.
The white dress over the grate.
Yes. Wait, was that the right way of saying it? The grate up the white dress?
She was dressed in the...
White dress with the grate up the white dress.
with the air from the grate
there we go.
blowing the dress up.
But the grate wasn't going up the...
Like she wasn't being assaulted by a grate. It was just blowing air and blowing her dress.
Okay, I looked up on Netflix, and is no longer on Netflix. House.
Well, that's very sad.
The article that said it was back in 2012, a hidden gem. Sorry if, maybe it's on a torrent site you could download or something. I don't know.
Not that we condone doing anything illegal like that.
No, not at all. Okay, so her first appearance as David Bowie is actually, she's confronting the techno god.
Yeah.
The boy from the first episode. Telling him that he needs to apologize and all that. And he immediately does, and she's saying not to me or Mr. World, but to Mr. Wednesday.
Yes.
And they still never said Odin.
No. But, I mean...
Sorry if we didn't spoil that already, but he is Odin.
I mean, Wednesday, it's his day.
Yes.
And crows.
But they did... they did say when... The next time she appears as Marilyn Monroe... they're kind of giving a spiel. Mr. World is wanting Wednesday to join them, and when she's giving him that spiel, she talks about the Odin satellite.
Yes.
That would be launched, that would broadcast his message to
Valhalla anew.
Yes. So after all those references, it's Odin. I think we can clearly say Odin. We didn't want to do it on the first episode, but literally the first episode they were Vikings and they were blinding themselves. Come on.
It's Odin.
It's Odin.
In case you didn't know, it's Odin.
It's Odin. But they didn't even call him Odin. Even in that, they said the reference to Odin's satellite, and then that goes back to what was happening at the hotel between Laura and Mad Sweeney.
Yeah.
He comes back.
Dead wife.
Comes back for his coin, and come to find out he can't take it. She has to voluntarily give it. And she's not going to do that. And she beats the crap out of him.
Yeah, and I love when she said, the last guy kicked in the balls. Kicked all
stop.
the way, till his throat.
Yeah.
Because his damn spine flew out of him.
Yeah. So she is super strong, stronger than, I guess, a god or a leprechaun for that.
Yeah.
Which we already found out that he was really strong because he fought Shadow, and Shadow in the books they don't go into much of it, but Shadow is a very strong person.
Yes, and it's later revealed why.
Right. It goes back and forth between Mad Sweeney and Laura and the interrogation, but I think is when, going back to the different names, Mad Sweeney calls him by one of his other names.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It starts with a G, maybe. He says Wednesday, and then he calls him by a different name. He never says Odin, but he calls him. I can't remember the other name. Gamor.
I completely can't recall.
Anyway.
I wouldn't even have a memory of that if you hadn't said it.
It goes back and forth, and then Wednesday pretty much declines Mr. World's offer. Mm-hmm. And then they go and escape, and then there's this whole tree thing.
There's a whole tree
There's
thing.
a whole tree thing. It's coming out of the chair, and it becomes a tree, and it actually stabs Shadow. Mm-hmm. And he breaks it off, and then Wednesday and Shadow run off, and it looks like a different world.
Yes.
And that happens in the books, in the sense, not in the interrogation, but there's a roadblock for them, and they go into this.
They go behind the scenes.
Yeah, I was going to say behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Is,
of
the
our
world.
Yeah, of our universe.
Right. To kind of avoid detection from Mr. World and his goons.
But universe in this sense, as in not astral. Like our universe is in like alternate reality.
Right. Like the astral plane.
Yes.
And then those two actually converge because the cops come back to the hotel room with Mad Sweeney as he's dunking her into the water, and then she's alive, and then she just stays underwater, and he's
dead wife. I love him calling her dead wife. I thought that was just was a highlight for me.
And that was a funny moment because she just stays underwater, stays dead, and then he, which is, I guess, if she's in trouble, she just stops moving and then she's just a corpse, and then they take her to the morgue, and she gets up. And that's what happens here. She gets up. She actually kills a guy.
She does, yeah.
It's implied.
Yeah.
I don't know if she actually kills him, but he's standing at the door when it pops open, and then she gets up and gets her stuff, and then
hauls ass out of there.
Right. And then Mad Sweeney, the cops are bringing him back where all that, the tree, and then they go out and then get killed, and then he knows what's going on, or he knows something's going on, so he tries to escape, which is another bad luck moment because he slips, gets hit in the pot of golds, and and slips out and then runs off. So that's basically the episode.
What did you think of, before we wrap that up, what did you think of when Laura asked Shadow if he was still her puppy, and he was like, no?
I think it's a big diversion from the book because again, they changed how he became known as Puppy.
Yeah.
In the book, he's always her puppy.
Yes.
And there's more of a meaning behind it, and there's more love between them.
Well, Shadow's a different guy in the book, in a lot of ways. But this version, what did you think of this particular?
I think it fits with the narrative that they've given.
Yes.
For Shadow and Laura, I think that he doesn't want to be called Puppy anymore because of everything that's happened in the book. You understand it better that he's okay being called Puppy. Yeah. I was fine with it.
In this, he doesn't really forgive her. He's still holding on to that, which is fine. You know, she did cheat on him with his best friend, so.
Yeah, and he forgave her in the book, but again, they had more of an actual. Feels like they had more of a relationship in the book. Yes. And this one, it was more Shadow had a relationship with Laura, and Laura was just along because she was dead inside. Yes.
But anyway, I just wanted to know what you thought of that particular piece of the narrative.
I was very thrilled in general with the story overall, and it fits with the storyline that they've created between Laura and Shadow in this TV series. I think I was thrilled to see Mr. World, Crispin Glover, in that portrayal. I think he did well, and I'm looking forward to how all that unravels later on. And I don't know how many seasons they're going to get out of this one book. But again, after the book ends, there are 2 or 3. There's three short stories involving Shadow after the events of American Gods, and supposedly Neil Gaiman is working on the sequel to American Gods. So,
I'm curious if they take it the same direction that the book goes. The ending and how everything kind of plays out and and who's really with who.
Yeah, because I think from what I understand, the first season ends, and if they're only doing 8 episodes, they could get a lot of seasons out of this.
Yeah.
But the first season ends fairly early in the book, so I mean they don't even reach that much of a ground. Which I guess this was episode 5, so we got 3 episodes left, so we still got to see Easter.
I think that's gonna be. Is that tonight's episode that Easter's in?
It might be.
I don't know for sure, but I'm very
I haven't
excited.
seen any previews for this coming up episode.
I love Kristen Chenoweth, and I'm just delighted that she's taking part in this series.
And they may flesh her character out because she's not in the book. I mean, she's in that. I mean, she is.
Yeah.
But she's not that big of a character. I mean,
No,
she's got that one scene,
Yeah.
and then I think she turns up toward the end, and that's it.
Yeah, that's all she is in the book. It's another one of those characters that they've taken and fleshed out like they fleshed out Laura. Probably not to that degree by
Right.
any means, but I mean, you can't just. It's hard to have a one-dimensional character
Right.
on the screen like for something like this because you have to give background so you know what's going on.
So we'll definitely continue on with this reviewing every episode. So we will review episode 5. Wait, that was the 5. Episode 6.
Yes.
Next time, and other than episode 4, which again, episode 4 was a good episode, it was just so off from everything that we've been used to. So we will wrap on American Gods, and we will move to Would You Rather.
Would you rather moved on to Would You Rather?
Yes, that wasn't
Well, then-
another option.
Then we'll do it. Fine.
Then we'll
Be
do
like
it.
that.
Fine. All right, so you started the round the first time. Do you want me to start?
Go for it.
Okay.
That's never good.
No. Okay.
Oh, and just a sidebar here. Trav draws from the top of his deck.
Well,
now,
they're totally random.
I
Mix it up.
I split my deck up 4 times and drew a card from each of those 4 times.
There's no
that's-
sense in it. I mean,
that's-
I've kept the cards that we've already read away
Right.
from it. So.
But that just gives you insight into like our personality types. So
Oh, okay.
That's where I'm
from the
going with
top.
that.
Just from the top. It's
See, I'm
fine.
like, no, here, no, here, no, here.
The path of least resistance sometimes is best.
No.
All right. Would you rather drive the Batmobile or wear Iron Man's suit as your only means of transportation?
Iron Man suit.
And so you're basically saying drive the Batmobile or wear Iron Man's suit as your only means of transportation. So you couldn't do anything else with Iron Man's suit except get in it and fly around.
Flying?
Yes, we've talked about flying. I just want to make sure, yeah.
Well, I mean...
And I guess which Batmobile?
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, which Batmobile? Like the one that like turns into the motorcycle or like, you know, Adam West Batmobile? Because, I mean, it was kind of cool.
Adam West one, yeah. Michael Keaton's, you would have a hard time turning.
Yeah.
Because there's literally a scene where he has to use a grappling hook to turn
Yeah.
a sharp turn. It's not made for turns.
No. So, I mean, I would fly. I could get there faster. It'd be less bulky.
Right. Okay, yeah, that's a pretty easy one. I would go with Iron Man suit.
Would you?
Yeah, I mean, of course. As long as there's some way to make sure that no one else could take it. I mean, sure there's some sort of security system.
Right, yeah.
And you get out and,
Like a retina scanner,
Yeah, something.
ID. Like if phones can do all that stuff, then surely...
sure, Iron Man suit can.
Yeah. Like I want to be able to clap.
And
in
I
it,
would
like,
hopefully though which that's not a problem for you because you're a smaller human. But if I had to, like if I don't know how tall Robert Downey Jr. is, but if he's like 5'8" and I'm 6'2", it's not going to work for me.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's an Iron Man suit that's fitted to you.
Yes. Not to get too deep or anything, but...
Yeah, apparently you've never played this game. You've never heard any of our previous discussions. Okay, so that's my round. So your go.
Okay, my turn. Okay. Would you rather eat all your meals mashed up in a dog dish or relieve yourself in a litter box? Well, I was watching something today that had that in it.
That had that question?
The dog dish thing. The Mick. I was watching the Mick on Hulu. and they were like making a bet, and you have to eat all your meals out of a dog dish for a month. That's so weird.
It's
Anyway,
all connected.
it's all
And
connected.
then we pull down a board. It's got all these newspaper clippings and yarn and stuff and push pins.
Yes.
Um,
So eat all your meals mashed up in a dog dish, or
The-
relieve
the-
yourself in a litter box.
the dog dish.
Really? See,
Well,
my food can't touch.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not crazy. They touched. Yeah, it's gravy that's going to move.
Well, gravy's fine, but you know.
Well, if it's a dog dish that
I
I
don't-
bought that's brand new, clean,
Yeah.
and it's my normal human food,
Yeah.
and it's just in a dish, that's fine. If you're doing a cat litter, someone's going to have to clean that. Even if you're not even scooping it, I mean, even if you're dumping it out, you're still
Yeah.
going to have to dump
Like-
it into something.
You know, you're right, but I don't want my green beans touching my gravy.
So I would rather pee into something and then clean it up. Cleaning it up is the worser of the two things for me.
But I
And
mean,
then-
what if it's all? It says it's all mashed up. So I
don't-
mean, that'd be like
I don't
eating
care.
vomit, just
It's
without
not
the stomach
vomit.
acid.
Yes, without the stomach acid. I would eat it in a dog food, and it's normal food, and it's my normal food. It's just mashed together
In a
It's
dog
fine.
dish.
In a dog dish.
Like the
And
dog dish part isn't the problem for me.
It's the
That's
mashing.
fine. It's the mashed up together.
See, the peeing
Like,
and
I don't
the
care
thing
what
is
I eat
fine.
out of.
Peeing in a cat litter thing's fine. It's the cleaning it up. Someone's got to clean it up, and I know my wife's not going to.
You'd be like you're on your own.
I don't know what you did in there, but I'm not cleaning it up. So, yeah, that was mine. Yeah. So we're on to sometimes we're pro Godzilla, we're on the same page, and sometimes we're
Pissing in a litter box and eating from a dog dish. Ed, it's your turn.
What was the hashtag we're doing? Oh yeah, hashtag Ding Dong You're Dead.
Yeah.
All
Hashtag
right.
ding dong, you're dead.
Hell, mine's like superhero related. Apparently, I cut it to where I'm superhero. This one isn't even like, it's kind of the same thing. Yours is like no contest. We'll probably do a couple more rounds because this is super easy. All right. Would you rather wield the hammer of Thor in battle or wear the pants of MC Hammer in bed?
Thor's hammer. Like
I don't know who you're battling, but I mean,
an MC Hammer's pants, okay, fine.
they're just
parachute
pants.
Yeah.
In bed.
Like it's not like I'm going to Target.
That one was kind of lame.
Yeah.
It's just because it both had hammers in it.
Yeah, that's all that was. Like whoever came up with that, screw you.
Wield the hammer of Thor, so that would imply that you were worthy
Yes, that was where I was going.
to
like,
wield Mjolnir.
not that I have self-worth issues or anything, but you know.
Yeah, Mjolnir. Yeah,
Yeah, sure. That's what it's called.
meow meow.
And we're back to litter boxes.
And we're back. Meow meow. All right, so we're both. I'm wielding Thor's hammer just for come on.
Yeah, I think we
If
can.
you're worthy enough to, even if you're not, and you just get to wield it,
This is not dog
Yay.
dishes and litter boxes, people. This is Thor's hammer. Come on.
you wield Thor's hammer.
Yes.
If you have the opportunity to wield Thor's hammer, you wield it.
Yes, exactly. Okay.
Your argument is invalid.
This one,
Okay.
This
Maybe
one's-
I should have shuffled because mine are like really easy.
see.
The power
Once
of
again,
the shuffle.
Once again.
All right. Give me.
Hashtag ding dong, you're dead. This one's an easy one for me.
Okay.
Would
It's
you
not
rather?
about you on this one.
Would you
Until
rather?
after I get mine.
Would you rather swap your gender for a year, or give up social media for the rest of your life?
The gender.
Right?
Yeah, I would. I mean, it's just for a year,
Yeah.
so
And you
I would
get
be a
to-
girl.
Yeah. And what's wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, there would be
That's not a
12 weeks that would probably be inconvenient.
Yeah. But maybe you would be like postmenopausal woman.
Maybe.
So
I was just implying it, but I'm glad you just thrusted it right in there,
Well,
which
yeah.
goes good for the gender swap. So you're
Yes.
a dude, you're just thrusting it right in there.
Yeah. I would piss on every bush I came across.
Cat litter,
Cat litter.
Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
I'm pissing on it.
On all of it.
This is mine now.
Yeah. But I mean, it wouldn't bother me to give up social media, but I mean, it'd be cool to gender swap. Like, I've always wanted to grow a beard anyway.
So your option is to gender swap or give it up for a year?
Give up social media for the rest of your life. Give up
So-
social media for the rest of your life.
So
or,
what's the downside? I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't.
you get to be this gender for a year and go back to normal, or you can just give up. So you could do
Yeah.
that anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I could literally just say, okay, I give it up. That's a bad, like,
Yeah,
something bad, or you could do this one thing.
that's
I'm sure there's downsides that we're not talking about, but just pure,
right. Like,
Yeah.
I don't.
see the,
There's no real. Oh no, I have to be a boy or I have to be a girl. Like so.
so, not to go into too much metaphysical thing, but if I was someone that was transgender and I had that question,
Yeah, you would be
like,
delighted. Yeah.
yeah.
Especially if it were just that easy.
Right.
Pop and you're done.
Pop and you're done.
Pop and you're done.
Pop and you're done. Okay, so we'll go on with me. We'll do another round because, oh God, this is so easy. You're gonna be okay. It's not a superhero one, at least.
Well, good.
Okay, would you rather make out with your celebrity crush?
Okay.
I'm just gonna leave it at that. Or be touched by an actual angel.
Yeah, celebrity crush. I mean, come on.
Like, show me on the doll touched, or like, or
Like,
just like.
There's a lot of ways that could go. Like Roman Downey.
Just
is
reading,
she
just reading it would, like, okay, I choose the angel, and then having, clouds part, trumpets, and then you hear, and he just comes up and like touches your arm.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, and he's gone. Or you get to make out with your celebrity crush.
Yeah. Like, that's more straightforward. There's less room for wiggling.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully it would turn into some wiggling, but you know what I'm saying.
So who's your celebrity crush?
I'm not telling you that. There's too many to name. Come on.
That's too private.
It's. I mean,
Okay.
it's not like it's from the 90s in a female-based show, with a blonde and a brunette wielding weapons. Staff size swords or chakram flying everywhere.
All right, so celebrity crush. Just from the wording, it sounds more appealing. I'm just going to say, if my wife is listening, stop for the next 5 seconds. I would go and make out with my celebrity crush. Okay, and you can get back on the. There's too many weird. I don't understand the point of being touched by an actual angel. Do you get anything? You know what I mean? Like the different lores and things.
Like, is
about
Cass
it.
just going to come and push me?
Yeah, from Supernatural.
Yeah.
There you go, and I'm gone. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, so that was. We may do another round because these are. Yeah,
We're not selfish shits or anything.
No,
All right.
We've already established we go with the greed option every time. Okay, this one's gonna be good because she's giving a lot of.
Giving a lot of face on this one.
Yeah.
Would you rather fart clouds of thick yellow gas or sweat glowing green slime?
Fart.
Really?
Well, I've been able. I could go somewhere and like in public and not do it in public and go somewhere private and fart and then okay, get rid of it.
Yeah.
If it's 96 degrees outside and I'm outside and I'm starting to sweat green slime.
Yeah, it would get a little weird, I guess.
Yeah, glowing green slime.
Glowing green slime.
Yeah, I would do the fart because even if I had to pass gas, I could do that away from people and then not,
Right. Fair enough.
Now I just got this image of like me showing up or you showing up if you choose fart.
Yeah.
And like there's just a big yellow cloud in the car. Like, what were you doing? Shut up.
None of your business.
I know. I'm not getting in that car. What would you choose then?
Well, now that you've said that, plus clothes are expensive, and if it's glowing green slime,
how hard would it be to
wash out of your clothes? Mm-hmm. So, and like my palms sweat, not a lot, but like right now they're sweaty.
So right now
I would be like if
having
I'm,
green slime on your hands,
and if you're in a nervous situation and like you're having a dinner meeting with like a superior, and
Yeah. Or if you're on a date and you're nervous and you start,
sweating and
I mean, I'm not a person that would let out a rip, in a dinner date or a office meeting, and then all of a sudden a cloud of smoke, yellow smoke.
Be like, "Excuse me, I have to go away for a moment." So I guess I would choose the gas.
The gas. Okay, so I guess we'll do. How many cards did you pick out?
4.
Okay, so we'll do 4 rounds.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Would you rather?
Now he's giving face.
Would you rather, whenever you sit down, have your butt vibrate loudly but soothingly, or receive an invisible back massage that sounds like knuckles cracking?
The butt one.
I'm sure you could put that to good use somehow.
Yes. And we'll leave it there. Which one would you choose?
I don't have a problem with the knuckles cracking, but I don't really like back massages. So I guess I'd have to do, just to rule that out.
Yeah.
I would probably just do the vibrating butt.
Yeah.
It's loudly but soothingly.
Yeah.
So every time you sit down, but
Soothingly.
Yeah.
That works for me.
And yeah, there would be all kinds of uses that you would employ that with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it would go back to the celebrity crush thing.
Yeah. It would just everything's just circling right around today.
And we pull out the chart with the newspaper clippings and the yarn
and the push pins.
Ding dong, you're dead.
Okay. So, last card.
Last card.
Would you rather eat nothing but frozen pizzas and never need to buy food again, or live on a farm and never need to pay rent again?
Farm.
Agreed. Full stop.
I've, at a time in my life, all I ate was frozen pizzas. Eventually, you would want something else.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you can, as it says, frozen pizzas, so I'm sure you can get cheese or Supreme.
You get Supreme, vegetables, so you can get your greens in.
But yeah, I think living on a farm with no rent.
Absolutely.
Even if you didn't farm, it was rent free and you have all these acres.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds the better of the two.
Absolutely. That's not a tough choice for me.
Right. I thought about it for a second, but I would get really bored if all I could eat was frozen. And now, getting older, eating pizza is just not that appealing. It's good.
It's more heartburn in a box.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah, pizza is not my friend. It's not the close friend that I once knew.
Yeah.
We've drifted apart. We're drifting apart.
And there's no coming back together.
Okay, so to sign off, we have an email account. You can reach us at reachthemass@gmail.com. We have a Twitter at reachthemass. We've established a YouTube page.
Yes.
Also Reach the Masses.
Reach the Masses.
We are on iTunes. And we're also, I'm still trying to work out a way of getting it on Google Play.
And you can also just search for us on archive.org and
listen to all the episodes.
All the episodes are there. And you can download them from there, so that way you don't have to stream them.
Right. If you're on Wi-Fi, you can download them and listen to them later in your car.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we want to hear from you. What do you like? What are some of your answers to these questions? Do you agree with us? Or are you saying, no, I would totally pee in some litter, or totally would
eat pizzas?
Totally do the Batmobile.
Yeah.
Just let us know what you think. We want to hear from you. Is there any other, you want to do any plugs, shout outs? I know you're writing.
No, you can reach me on Twitter at something.
HD Russell.
HD Russell.
82.
82.
So look us up. We want to hear from you. Again, next episode we will continue. We'll talk about Buffy season 5, and then we will talk about American Gods episode 6. And we'll continue Would You Rather. And again, we want to hear from you all. Your thoughts. And until then, have a good week. I'm Travis.
I'm Heather.